Lawrence, could you explain to me the audio analysis in the two videos?
So there are two videos that we analyzed for this incident. One video from the 1st of June. In this video, we hear 70 gunshots. All of which exhibited a firing range of automatic gunfire of 900 to 1,000 rounds per minute. That speed is more than what many weapons can fire. It is consistent with something like an M16 that fires 5.56 ammunition, or an FN mag machine gun that fires 7.62 ammunition, which I believe is the ammunition that was found at the crime scene. And this FN mag machine gun is consistent with what eyewitnesses describe as that they were being fired at. It can be a tank-mounted machine gun.
So how could you identify the type of the gunfire from the audio analysis?
Most of the gunshots that we hear contained the sound of a supersonic shockwave that's made by the bullet, and that's this crack here. And these cracks are the bullet that was fired from this gun, breaking the sound barrier. It's a supersonic shockwave made by the bullet as it flies through the air. The following sounds, which are the muzzle blasts, you can see they're very rigid, very consistently spaced. That shows us that it's this automatic gunfire. These muzzle blasts are the sound of the hot gases escaping the barrel of the gun. So it escapes the gun and it makes the big combustion sound as it reaches the cool ambient air outside. So you'll hear all of those things there. The crack, followed by the muzzle blasts, which are characterized by a much deeper, it's much broader spectrum across the frequency range.
So how can we use this to estimate the distance?
When we have a camera that's in the line of fire, we usually expect to hear these two sounds, right, that I just told you about. So the muzzle blast is this big circle, right? That muzzle blast travels at the speed of sound, so around about 340 meters per second. While this area, this cone, is created by the bullet traveling through the air. So that produces that crack sound you heard. And that travels, in this case, around about 900 meters per second. So almost more than twice the speed that the muzzle blast travels. And you can use the interval between that boom and that crack to tell you information about the trajectory of gunfire or the distance of a shooter to a camera. And if you see our calculations here, what we see is that it is around about 500 to 600 meters away from the camera, between the time that you hear the bullet and then you hear the muzzle blast arriving at the camera. So that gives us this area of proximity around the shooter. We know that the shooter was positioned somewhere along that axis. We can assume they weren't firing from a boat in the sea. And we do know also that there was a military outpost here where the circle. So there's some overlap between our findings and the position of a Israeli military outpost at the top of that road.
Could it be that Ameen was caught in a crossfire?
So in all the videos we analyzed, we hear a very consistent interval between the supersonic shockwave and the muzzle blast, which indicates a single position, a single shooter position. It doesn't indicate multiple shooter positions firing in different directions. Also, to rule out further, the video taken on June 1st has a rounds per minute fire of 900 to 1,000 rounds per minute. So the gun is able to fire 900 to 1,000 bullets in a minute. That is way in excess of weapons that are commonly attributed to Hamas.
We found only one video from the 3rd of June. It was filmed around the time that Ameen was shot dead.
We reproduced the same process as I described in the last analysis. And we identified a shot at about 8 seconds in. That is the loudest of all the supersonic shockwaves. And it also coincides with the moment of the videographer calling in distress and falling to the ground. And that gives us this circle here. So this is from the 1st of June, and this is from the 3rd of June. You can see here that there is an overlap of those two locations. So we believe it is likely that they were more or less fired at from the same place in a military outpost around about this location. And they were firing down the road towards the roundabout, as witnesses have described, using, in the case of the incident on June 1st, highly likely to be using an FN mag machine gun mounted to a tank.
بنموت عشان لقمة العيش والله بنموت عشان لقمة العيش الجوع كافر.
Ameen's video is the first conclusive evidence of how aid was being distributed under fire. It showed that in Gaza, the act of seeking aid had become lethal, a war crime.